Well, if it isn't a live stream, I got started 30 seconds early today. This live stream, I wasn't making tea at the very last second and rushing to sit down. I actually have two glasses of tea today. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit stories. Welcome to our August live stream. Thank you to everyone who is joining us this evening. Hopefully you have a lot of fun. I've picked out, I think, some pretty good stories here. And Amber now has vocal issues, so she won't be talking as much.
My allergies are rude.
Her allergies are rude, and they're making her sad. And then she also drafted a whole new chapter today.
Well, not a whole. I was drafting a short story for a newsletter incentive, and I drafted half of it, like 1,600 words.
Oh, a whole 1,600 words.
And then my voice hurt, and I couldn't keep going.
So, there's June. Welcome, June. We're happy to have you with us. Can you hear us all right? We're happy to, be getting together and doing our live stream and those kinds of things there. Hopefully your new job is treating you all right, June. I know that you just started something recently, so I hope it's going splendidly. I know the last job that you had, you weren't too much of a fan of, so I hope this one is better. Hopefully, you did make it. You did make it. We're happy to see you. I know that you've been wanting to join us on the live stream for a while, and I know your schedule just doesn't line up very well. I'm going to say our poll this time is favorite weather is rainy and cloudy. I'm going to say sunny. And then I guess other. Favorite summer weather, I guess. So let's get started on that poll there. There. Tons of weather-related things. Whether or not you're ready, here we go. Oh, good. I'm glad you get paid more. Getting paid more is better. Oh, you get a sneak peek of this future story, assuming that we get to that story in particular. All right, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Disliking the Cake That My Sister Made for My Birthday? I'm a 29-year-old female, and my birthday, well, it was last week, and we had a big party. I was talking to my sister, a 31-year-old female, about cake that I wanted for the party and asked her if she had any recommendations of where to order it from. She insisted that I shouldn't order the cake, but instead let her bake it for me. I said that I was happy to order and pay for someone to make it, but she insisted. She's a great baker, so I agreed. Well, she did 2 test runs of the cake to make sure that it was right, and both tests were fabulous. She nailed it. However, she was convinced that it needed one extra ingredient, one that I really dislike, and changes the whole flavor of the cake. Think adding coffee to a vanilla cake. That's how extreme the change is. Well, the birthday party comes, and I cut into the cake. And I can immediately tell that she's added the ingredient that I asked her not to. My husband also noticed immediately it changed the color of the cake, so it was pretty obvious, and he asked what happened. And she said it clearly needed an extra flavor to break it up, so I added it. I know that it's dumb to get upset over a cake, but I was really frustrated. She saw in the moment that I was annoyed and immediately got defensive about it. Now she is saying that I am ungrateful for all the effort and time and money that she spent making me this cake. And I feel upset that I couldn't just have what I wanted on my birthday. Especially when she asked me twice if I wanted to change, and I said no. It cost her more to add in the ingredient that I don't enjoy, if it was more effort. So, am I the jerk for being annoyed? Should I just be grateful that she made something that everyone else said tasted good, even if it wasn't what I wanted? Edit, okay, I was intentionally vague about the flavor in case she sees this post. But I've said in the comments, so oh well. I wanted a lemon cake, and she added blueberry/blackberry compote that she made from scratch. I just hate the flavor of blueberries, and I always have. So I cut into the cake expecting it to be yellow, like a lemon, and it was bright purple. You couldn't taste lemon at all, but you could sure taste blueberry. For some additional information, for those asking, I didn't actually say anything in the moment because I didn't want to ruin the vibe. But I definitely made a face, for sure. And since she's done this done at least 2 test runs that the others I had tried that were also liked, I said, hey, why is this cake purple instead now? Thinking that maybe I'd changed my mind or something like that. My sister clocked my reaction, and my husband straight up asked her why the cake was a different color, and she said that it needed the extras. Then she got upset because enough people thought the situation was weird, and she has been talking about it ever since. I didn't say to her, I said it to her privately. I did say it to her privately later that night that I didn't like her adding extras when I asked her not to, and she launched into a whole thing about how I'm ungrateful, and it's not about me because others would also be eating it, so on and so forth. And since I've heard from other people that she's still upset and that I should be grateful that she did make something and reminding me that it's just a cake, that I'm not bringing it up to anyone unless they bring it up to me, what she's been saying all week. So am I the jerk? This is a genuine question since, yeah, it's just cake and probably not worth this at all. Wow, apparently there is a lot more to this story here.
Well,
I don't know if it's actually necessary or relevant here.
Yeah, I think we can just answer now.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. You were very clear about what you wanted and what you didn't want. She put her ego and desire to have the perfect flavor pairing over your actual satisfaction on your birthday. You repeatedly told her you didn't want the blueberries, and she did it anyway. And you had offered to buy your own cake. So this was not her doing you a favor. This was her, going on an ego trip.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that she had an idea about what she wanted, and she was always going to make the cake that she wanted and never was going to make the cake that OP wanted. And I really think that's a unfortunate situation because she really should have taken OP's preferences into consideration since this was a birthday cake. If this was her birthday,
right,
then it would be one thing, if OP was trying to order her around and saying, hey, you need to have a birthday cake like I want or something like that.
That's the thing is like on a person's birthday, it's what they want that's most important. Now, if there are people who can't eat what they want or really don't like it, yeah, then like having a secondary option is a great thing to do. Mm-hmm. But if OP wanted a lemon cake, like she could have made a second blueberry cake that she could have had for the people who want that. But to have like the one thing OP doesn't want and be like, this is your birthday cake, you're ungrateful if you don't like it. No, that's bogus.
Yeah. So June has this, June is, blah. Apparently I can't talk. June says, not the jerk, but I guess I would have just said thank you. I've been in a similar situation. I mean, I think we all have here and there. And it doesn't even sound like OP said anything in the moment. It just sounds like they kind of made a face, and sometimes you just can't like help your reactions.
Oh, I've thrown a fit when I didn't get the cake I wanted as a teenager.
Oh, you threw a fit?
I mean, I was very sulky. I think I complained to everyone because my favorite cake was funfetti cake. It still is my favorite cake.
Yeah.
And it is a very well-known thing about me, but then my dad would just get other cakes and I would like sulk and tell everyone at school and my teachers and like my Chinese teacher and everyone that like I was so mad because my dad didn't get me a funfetti cake for my birthday.
Yeah. June also says, I think everyone needs to let it go. The sister-in-law should apologize and both of them need to move on. I mean, I think that's good advice here, right? I think that's ideally the way things should go here. Speaking of ideally the way things should go here, our next letter is titled, I'm a 32-year-old male and my fiance insists upon riding in the cart at stores, like I said, as it needs to go. If you aren't riding in a cart, then what are you even doing when you go grocery shopping? Not all the time, in fact it's rare, but every now and again, when she's tired or something, and I ask if she wants to go to the store with me, she'll say only if she can ride in the cart. At this point, I feel as if it's an easy way out of saying that she doesn't want to go, because I feel uncomfortable being seen pushing my 29-year-old fiance around in a cart in a public space. But she's dead serious and thinks I care too much about what everyone else thinks about me, and it's okay to be silly sometimes. I can be silly and goofy at times, but typically in private. What's the internet's opinion on this? Because I literally never see this whenever I go to a store. I only see kids riding in carts. And even that is uncommon. And I'll add that she's pretty small, about 5'0" tall, and could easily fit in the cart. And I could easily push her, but it just seems like something that would be drawing unwanted attention. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, my bigger concern here is less the optics and more carts aren't designed to be carrying adults, you know? Like, I'm not a very big person, and I still wouldn't ride in a car. Like, even if it could support me, it's still not designed to carry adults. They have little spaces for small children, but they're not meant to be carrying adult weights. Like, she's probably at least 100 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, she could be. She's 5'0", so 5'0", she could be under 100.
Yeah, maybe slightly. I mean,
and so I mean, I think that it's. I'm not arguing that she should be being pushed around in the car. I'm just saying that she's like under 5 foot. I would think that no OP shouldn't have to push her around in a car. If it makes OP uncomfortable, then it makes OP uncomfortable. Maybe she can surf in the carts and like grab like one of those like because I don't know if you've ever seen like those skateboarding people, the people with like the skateboarding like almost paddle type of thing, where they can just move themselves in a cart. So they could do that with the cart, stand in the cart and paddle themselves. So
see, I always wanted to ride in the cart, but I understand that as an adult I am not cart sized. But one thing I would do sometimes is like there's one Hannaford in Bangor that's on a bit of a hill in the parking lot, so I'd stand on the cart and like let the hill carry me a few.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all done that every now and again, right? Where you jump onto the cart and let it carry you where you want to go. I mean, maybe that's just me.
I mean, it's not just you because I've done it.
I mean, I think every once in a while, I mean, she is right. Like, what does it matter what other people think about you? And she's right in that respect, but also there are certain things, standards that people kind of adhere to in public, and there are certain things that might be, disruptive or...
Well, in the grocery store might not want because it's a much heavier weight. Like, it's one thing if you're standing on your feet and like holding onto the cart, and it's another thing entirely if you're sitting in like the little child seat or...
Well, I doubt she would be sitting in the child seat. I imagine she would be sitting in the cart area, like the big area. Yeah, no, that would be really weird if she was like cramming herself into that little thing. Yeah, I mean,
I had pictures.
No, like when I was little, but too big for like the the basket area. I mean, my mom would let us sit in the cart.
I don't think we got to. I got to sit in the basket when I was little. I'm pretty sure, but I don't think I got to sit in the cart itself. Yeah. That was where because my dad did the whole week of food shopping at once, and it was full, so there wasn't room for us.
Yeah. But we'll move on real quick here. We could probably talk forever about shopping and sitting in carts, I guess. And June says, no, I could never. I don't even push the girls in a cart. That would be hilarious if she got stuck. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess June is also envisioning that she's sitting in the little, the little kids area. I don't know how you would fit as an adult into that little kids area. Like, that would be a nightmare. And plus, like, it would make the cart really top-heavy.
Unbalanced?
Yeah, unbalanced. So, yeah, if she's talking about the little basket area, then no, she should not be sitting in that. That would be a dangerous thing to do. But if she's talking about the cart, inside of the cart, then, yeah. Less dangerous, but probably still not socially acceptable. Speaking of socially acceptable, our next letter is titled, So, my significant other, a 34-year-old male, told me, a 29-year-old female, that I was the knower of all things unimportant. And of course, this is socially acceptable. You can always tell your partner things like this if you don't want to have a partner. Yeah, I can see that, June. I can see that. You're picturing her in the front of the cart. I get that. I see that. Some background information. I'm very into fun facts and life hacks, and I'm kind of known for it in my friends group. I'm not annoying about it, but if a topic comes up, I do share my knowledge. This is something that my significant other even appreciated earlier on in our relationship of 3 years. And I love it when I would would love it when I made handwritten notes with cute drawings and fun facts on them. Well, some story time. The other day, my significant other came into the room while I was in the middle of working from home to ask if I knew what the weather was for the day. And I said, why can't you check your phone? And he said, well, I figured that you would know, as you're the knower of all things unimportant. This kind of took me aback a bit, and I was a little upset, so I decided that I'm just going to keep to myself today, as a comment like that wasn't exactly out of the ordinary for him. Fast forward to later in the day, and my significant other and I are getting ready for dinner. And he asks why I've been in such a mood today. I explained what he said about me being the knower of all things unimportant was rude, and he corrected me and said that no, I called you the knower of all things unimportance, and that I'm always spewing out fun facts, and that he doesn't see how that would upset me that he said that. I told him that if I have to explain why it upset me, that he doesn't really know me, and that if he didn't know me, that he would know that I love all the things that I researched and I loved. Sorry, folks, about that. And that if he did know me, that he would know that I loved all the things that I researched and that I learned. He said that it was clearly a joke and that it was obvious because he was laughing when he said it. He then continued to say that I'm sure you know like 10 facts about your dog breeds, and said, I'm sure you even know facts about my dog breed. To which I said, yes, I do, because if you own a dog, you should know facts about them. And he responded with, well, I don't even know 2 facts about my dog breed, as he was trying to prove a point. Basically gave up at that point because there's no point in arguing further on the topic. All right, folks, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely not the jerk. This guy's a huge jerk. I mean, first of all, he comes in and asks for the weather, and then it says, oh, well, you're the knower of all things of unimportance. But if he needs to know the weather, clearly there's some importance there.
Yeah.
So, like, I just wanted to point out that irony. But, like, that's such a rude thing to say. Like, Brian is full of random facts. You know, like, he comes up with the most random things, and, like, I can't imagine saying anything like that to you. It would be so rude.
I mean, I would probably say it about myself. So.
Oh, you would, but it's a different thing when you say it about yourself versus someone saying it about you.
I mean, I guess that's true, but I mean, I also wouldn't ever joke about something about myself that I wasn't comfortable with other people joking about me. Not that like OP doesn't have a right to be upset, because I think it is a rude comment, right? I have a self-deprecating sense of humor, and I will self-deprecate, and it is a little different because like when you're punching, at yourself, you're not punching up or down. Mm-hmm. But if you are, talking about somebody else, then it can come across easily as punching up or down. Like, you really need to know that somebody is secure in how they feel about something before you make a joke about them, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm secure enough in, myself that I don't really care if people make jokes at my expense for the most part. But I probably would start caring if it was like all day, every day, and mm-hmm. It would probably get annoying very quickly if somebody was just constantly making jokes. And then I guess like also if it was like your manager or punching down at you and making fun of you and being like, oh, you're a bad person,
And the partner too, like they're supposed to be on equal playing field, but mm-hmm. It's like he's saying her knowledge is unimportant and inferior to his. Essentially, is that what that implies?
I mean, I think that's a good perspective. I think could be read into that, right?
But fun fact, when Brian and I were doing our wedding photos, our couples photos, we had to like pretend like we were talking. So, well, and we were so like not look at the camera and all that kind of stuff to look natural. And so Brian was just telling me about how Roman concrete was made.
Yes, yes. I mean, they told us to talk about something, and so what better thing to talk about than Roman concrete? It's an extremely interesting substance. I mean, it was only, I could go on. I'm going to go, don't even get me started on Roman concrete, Amber. I will talk about Roman concrete. You have to know that about me. So, but I have to add this in. It wasn't until recently, the last couple of years, that they've discovered actually all the secrets of Roman concrete and how to replicate its recipe. I won't bore you with the details here, but I could. I could. I mean, what does June have to say? Wow, that's a terrible comment to make. He then doubled down when he saw that she was upset. I think that he's a jerk. And, oh, that's a cute story. I love it. Well, I'm glad you love that story, June. I'm glad you love that story. And speaking of loving stories, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Letting My Office Mate Have My Last Can of Coke in the Fridge? I genuinely feel like I've failed some kind of social test here, but I'm not sure why. Some background information, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, so I don't have the ability to go out and buy lunch every day at work. I also have to carry my daughter's things to nursery on the way to work, so I rarely carry a full lunchbox for myself. There I am. What I do instead on payday is I will order about a week or two's worth of cheap lunches, things to keep in the office. A few cans of drink, a microwave noodles, a few cans of drinks, a set of microwave noodles, a multi-pack of crisps, etc. This is usually my only source of food and drink in my office during the month. Well, my daughter has been sick this week, so I've been off of work. I got a text from my office mate asking me how she was, and then followed up with a message asking to have my last can of Coke from the fridge. And I replied, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Is it okay if I say no?" Crying face. I really don't mean to be tight. I just don't keep cans of Coke at home anymore because my daughter is a fiend for it, and the ones that I keep at work are my only cans. Cry face. She responded with just a thumbs up. Well, I made a joke about it to my sister sometime later, and she started berating me that it was a really terrible thing to do, and that I should have just given her the can of Coke. I was taken aback, to be honest, because I didn't think that it was that serious of an event. Now I am worried that I've made a really bad social move, and I've spoiled the office vibe. So am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. I mean, I think the sister is being a major jerk in her interpretation here. Like, of course you can say no. Like, I think Opie handled this very politely, and like you don't even have to explain to someone, but Opie gave a very like nice like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's my last can of Coke." Like, and it doesn't even sound like the coworker has an issue with it. It's literally just Opie's sister making a big deal out of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those situations where OP was trying to be as polite as possible. There wasn't, if they had like insulted the coworker and been like, "No, well, who do you think you are to ask for my cans of Coke," or something like that, that might have been one thing. But I mean, not everyone can afford luxuries, and cans of Coke are luxuries, right? And that's really what it boils down to at the end of the day, is that if you have a luxury, you might not want somebody else to drink it. And maybe a can of Coke isn't a lot to most people, but OP, it is a lot to, right? And I can understand why they wouldn't want to give up their last can of Coke, especially given that it's, comes out of their extra money, right? And June says, not the jerk, if she was looking forward to it, nothing wrong with saying no. And it was hers. Yeah, I mean, I think that's about the sum of it for me as well here. I mean, I don't think there is any shame in saying no. Speaking of any shame in saying no, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Suggesting My Wife's Instagram Caption? I'm a 30-year-old male, and I recently got married to my wife, a 25-year-old female, a month ago. We got our wedding photos back, and she picked a few that she wanted to post on Instagram. She always struggles to think of captions, so asked me, and I jokingly suggested that she thought that I would post this before the divorce party next month. It was a bit sarcastic, lighthearted, and I thought it was a bit sarcastic and lighthearted, I thought, and my wife liked it. After she posted it, she got a message from her younger sister, a 23-year-old female, and she was not happy about the caption at all. She sent a very long text message. She said that it's obviously a man's joke and that I clearly wrote it, that it was misogynistic men's humor, similar to referring to your wife as the old ball and chain. And so for my wife, a woman, to use a male-centered joke, her words, it doesn't land. She then goes on about how statistically men are more happy and successful when married, and the opposite is true for women, and they just go on and on like that. Both myself and my wife don't really care. We think that it's a harmless joke, but we are also interested in whether others think that me suggesting that my wife makes a joke about divorce so soon after getting married was a jerk move and sexist. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, I mean, I think it's a little bit tasteless, but that's just my personal opinion. I don't think, if you and the wife are both on board, you're the two whose opinions matter here.
Yeah.
Like, and so, like, the sister doesn't have to like it, and it is kind of unfortunate that so much marriage humor is centered around the idea that your partner is a terrible person who just makes your life miserable. Like, I think that is a problematic idea culturally, but if that's the sense of humor that Opie and his wife have, then, like, I don't fault them for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on whether it's good-natured or bad-natured, and it's really hard to tell the nature
from just this post.
Yeah, the nature of the joke from this. If they were already at each other's throats at the wedding, and they're, or, not like a happy couple or something like that, that's one thing, and it's just kind of like, look, we're totally miserable together, right? But if they're secure in the relationship and they love each other, and they're like, haha, we're just joking about this because it's clearly the furthest thing away from the truth. That's a different type of joke, right?
And that's it. Like, like I've heard of couples where, the wife would be like, oh, this is meet my first husband or something like that. And that's just their dynamic. It's just kind of like but the relationship is actually hopefully happy and healthy.
Yeah, if they are happy and they're healthy and they are, this is just their senses of humor. Some people have dark senses of humor or, humor like this. Then that's all that really matters here, right? They have a sense of humor and some people aren't going to agree with it. Not everyone is going to find every joke funny, and that's fine. Is the sister wrong about this being sexist? I mean, it depends on some factors here, but it certainly could be sexist. It could be interpreted as sexist, but it depends. I would be more sexist if it was, again, like the old ball and chain type of thing, right?
Well, that's the thing, is like, if this one feels more equal opportunity, like they're both saying their partner is terrible type of situation.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if it's necessarily sexist. I don't know if it's great for, like, I think it reinforces harmful ideas that marriage is something to be dreaded.
Yeah, or trapped in or something like that, right?
But I don't know if, given the way the joke is phrased, it's sexist because it's, she's like, oh, we're getting divorced type of thing. Like, it's not like he's going on about the wife being the old ball and chain, like you were saying.
Yeah, and I mean, since she's the one who made the joke, it would come across as, from most people, that he's on thin ice. If he's messes up, then they're getting divorced here, right? So I mean, I think you could really interpret that as one way or the other in that respect. June says, not the jerk. If they both think it's funny, I say it's none of the sisters' business. It's probably none of the sisters' business. Speaking of none of someone else's business, there's no sister in this story, so I can't really use that one. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Wanting to Share My Study Notes with a Classmate That Had Plagiarized My Project Last Semester?
I mean, I think the segue actually works here.
Yeah, I mean, it does work, but no, OP is not the jerk here. You don't have to share notes with somebody who plagiarized you. So I make very thorough notes every semester and then type them out nicely. Last semester, while working on a group project, one of my classmates plagiarized a substantial part of my presentation nearly verbatim in her segment. My professor had noticed the plagiarism and made us both come in. It was sorted out after I provided the drafts along with timestamps, and she admitted to having to plagiarize from me without permission. She is now messaging me before finals, asking to please share my notes again. When I declined and reminded her of the whole incident, she told me that it was one small occurrence and that I'm just being petty because everybody shares their notes in our program. My classmates believe that I shouldn't make a fuss about the situation due to the stress and time elapsed. I do not want to be the one who ends up getting plagiarized from again. Am I the jerk here? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. If they want to share notes with her, they're welcome to, but you are not obligated to share your notes, period. Even if she hadn't plagiarized from you, you wouldn't be obligated. But I think especially the fact where she has already plagiarized your stuff before, I totally get why you would not want to share that with her.
Yeah, I mean, OP doesn't have to share their notes with anybody that they don't want to. If the other classmates are so concerned about this, then maybe they should share their notes with her. I really think that's what it boils down to. OP is not obligated to share their notes, plain and simple. But other than that, I don't know if I have anything else to add here. So I'll probably move on to the next story. I'm moving very slowly because I know June is frantically typing something out. And she'll, the moment I switch over to the next page.
It's here now.
Yeah, definitely not the jerk. Why are they even communicating with her? Just block her. Tell your classmates to give them her notes. Give them their notes. I agree, June. I agree. And speaking of entitled behavior, our next letter is titled, "Am I a jerk for plugging in my Keurig machine that my friend was throwing out?" This is a very long post, but I need some advice, please. For some context, my friend is a 27-year-old female and got this Keurig machine 2 years ago for Christmas and used it maybe 5 or 6 times before it just stopped working. She got a new one, and that one sat there forever. I told her that I just really wanted it if she was going to throw it out, so finally she said that she did everything that she could and she could not get it to work, so she was just going to go ahead and throw it out. Well, my initial thought was that the machine is basically brand new and could maybe be put to use by somebody for something or even part, so I asked to take it instead. She continued over and over saying no, that I'm just going to plug it in and try it, even after telling me that it wasn't my intention and just didn't want it to go to the dump if somebody could take it for something. Like, what a waste of a perfectly good condition machine. So she eventually said yes. And as I was leaving, I did say, well, I'm going to try and plug it in now that you said not to. And we both just laughed. Well, I got home later that night, and when I did, I started cleaning the insides of it and the cake cup holder and the back, and I thought to myself, I wonder what happens if I plug it in. So I filled the back up, and as soon as I plugged it in, it blinked and lit up, and it worked perfectly. I sent her a video and messaged her right away saying that it works, and it's a good thing that I impulsively tried it because now we know that it works, and she can have it back. Well, then she messaged me the next morning telling me that she was so mad that I am a liar and a BSer because I plugged it in when I said I wasn't going to, and that I lied when I said that I wanted to give it away to someone who could potentially use it for something rather than more plastic in the dump, when that's not true. Like, should I have just thrown it out or not told her that it actually worked? She is sending me an essay on how bad of a friend I am, how I broke her trust, and she is losing her mind and being very mean. So am I the jerk? I also have apologized many times, but she isn't telling me exactly what upset her. She just keeps saying that I'm a liar and that she needs time away and that I just BS'd her. As her best friend, she never thought that I would do something like this to her by plugging in a Keurig machine out of impulse when she kept saying not to, but it was garbage anyways. All right, folks, what an exhausting post. What do you think?
No, I don't. OP, I don't think he did anything wrong. I think she just wants an excuse to be mad at OP.
Yeah.
Like, maybe she's frustrated that she tried to get it to work and it didn't, and then OP plugged it in and it did. Like, it's always a little annoying when, like, you think something is broken and then you hand it to someone and all they do is just the most basic thing and it's working. Like, we've had that before where I can't get something to work and then Brian comes over and does like the same thing and it just magically works. And it is like well, why is it working for him and not me? But her reaction is completely inappropriate here, you know. It's one thing to like playfully sulk for a minute. It's another thing entirely to like go on a rant about how OP has betrayed your trust for plugging in the machine and getting it fixed.
I think she was in a bad mood. And I think people who are in bad moods sometimes act irrationally. And I think that's really all this boils down to. I don't think that OP did anything wrong. I think that if anything, OP could have just offered to buy it off of her, and maybe that would have made things a little bit more smooth and said, hey, I'll buy it off of you. And I think she is just upset because she thought it was broken and OP got it to work. And sometimes people just hate being shown that they were wrong. There are just some people who hate more than anything being shown that they're wrong, and they, throw a fit about it when they are, right? So I don't know what to say about this friend, but I think they need to go into therapy because I think they have some stuff to work on here. And June says, if the friend is this mad, just give it back to her and get some distance from her. And I don't know why the friend was being weird about plugging it in. She was going to throw it away. Yeah, I mean, that's really what it boils down to. OP probably could have saved themselves a lot of trouble by not even telling the friend that the machine was working. It sounds like they were just kind of a bit of a pain of a person to deal with anyways. And speaking of being a bit of a pain, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk? Should I, a 23-year-old female, be mad at my boyfriend, a 24-year-old male, for breaking a promise over a sandwich, or am I overreacting? Last night, while out for drinks with a friend, my boyfriend bought 3 sandwiches. The first problem was that every single one of them had pickles, which I absolutely dislike. He defended himself by saying the employee told him that one was a meat sandwich and wouldn't have pickles. He then promised that he would buy me something nicer afterwards, and he didn't. And that he would get 20 sandwiches tomorrow. The real issue happened today. He went with his friend to get a prosciutto slicing shop, and they ate and had amazing sandwiches. And he didn't bother to bring me one. His excuse was that it would get cold, even though prosciutto sandwiches are usually eaten cold anyways. I know it sounds silly because it's just about food, but I feel completely sidelined. In less than 24 hours, he broke 2 promises and showed a total lack of consideration, especially knowing that I went to bed hungry the night before. I'm a 23-year-old and he's a 24-year-old, so I feel like he should show a bit more maturity and care. Am I justified in being upset by this behavior, or am I making a big deal out of nothing? All right, folks, what do you think?
Oof, this one I'm a little torn on. I'm going to kind of say that I think everyone's in the wrong a little bit here. Like, I think that he is not taking OP into consideration, and that's not nice. If he promised to get her something and then didn't get her something, then that's not cool. Although if the store promised him that one of the sandwiches didn't have pickles and then it had pickles, like, that's on them. But also, I do think like it's important that he takes OP into consideration and thinks about her, but I also think OP's expectation that like he can't have sandwiches with his friends and not get her one, like, yeah, it's nice to get her food, but I don't think it's like a requirement if it wasn't already pre-planned.
Well, I think that he is not wrong on the first day because there was no way for him to know that the sandwich was wrong. I think that she could have picked the pickles off, and maybe that could have solved the situation. Maybe she just really hates the flavor of pickles in general.
I mean, they just get into everything, so if you can't do pickles, it is very frustrating.
So maybe I feel like picking the pickles off would have been a good solution there if OP can. As for the second day, I mean, he did promise her that he would get her a sandwich.
Oh, did he? I forgot about that part.
Yeah, well, he said he was going to get her like 20 sandwiches the next day. I don't know why you would say that. I honestly have no idea why someone would be like, I'm going to get you 20 sandwiches tomorrow. So, but I mean, I think it was an exaggeration and maybe he was joking about it and she didn't quite get the humor. That's all I can figure. But I don't think that, I think that if he said he was going to get her a sandwich, he should have gotten her a sandwich, plain and simple. Like, maybe it would have gotten cold, but that's up to her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And June says, not the jerk. I think that it's not about the food. It's that he didn't think about her. Yeah, and I mean, like, it just shows that they didn't think about her on the way out of the store, and that can always be a frustrating situation. And I think, like, you know, if she was hungry, sometimes we aren't our best selves when we're hungry.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a reason why that Snickers commercial, those Snicker commercials exist. Where
let's not even talk about that. You know, when we get done with this live stream, I'm going to be having my popcorn and my scary stories.
Yeah.
And I know all I have is tea to tide me over.
Amber's like, I'm so hungry. Amber is hungry all the time. She's like the very hungry caterpillar.
Yes.
I live with a very hungry caterpillar.
She's
snacking all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of snacking all the time, our next letter is titled, Am I the jerk for telling a stranger that their shopping cart was rolling towards their parked car? It was a great segue. I enjoyed it a lot. I was walking through a grocery store parking lot when I noticed an unattended cart was slowly rolling downhill, clearly heading straight for a parked car a few spots away. I jogged over, I grabbed the cart before it hit the car, and I looked around for the owner. A man came jogging out of the store a second later, clearly realizing what almost happened. Instead of thanking me, he just snapped, I had it handled. And then he grabbed the cart out of my hands and kind of aggressively, and I said that I was just trying to stop it before it hit his car. And he muttered something about people always trying to be the hero and walked away annoyed. Well, my friend who was with me said that I should have just let it happen since it wasn't my car and not my problem either way. I said that I would have felt bad watching it happen in slow motion when I could have just stopped it in 2 seconds. Now I'm second guessing myself, like maybe I overstepped by touching someone else's cart without asking them first, even though my intention was just to stop a small accident. Am I the jerk for stepping in instead of minding my own business? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, absolutely not the jerk. I mean, I think this is another case of someone having a bad day and taking it out on the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the way he's behaving is completely inappropriate, and basically anyone would be happy. Like, I'm sure if Opie had just stood there and let the cart hit it, he'd probably come out yelling and be like,
why'd you do that?
Yeah, why did you just stand there? You know, Opie was really in a no-win situation here with this kind of person. But don't feel bad for doing the kind thing, even if sometimes people are rude about it.
Well, I think that's the key here. Sometimes you'll do the right thing. I mean, there's a reason there's an expression of no good deed goes unpunished. It's because anytime you do a good deed, there's always the chance that somebody is going to kind of take it in the wrong way, right? And before I continue, I want to say, welcome, sweet memories. Happy that you've joined us today. The thing is that people will just be rude, and there's always going to be rude people in this world, and they're always going to try dragging everybody else down with their rudeness. And I think that the best way to deal with people who are being rude is just to assume that they're having a bad day and to move on and not give them too much consideration, right? They are rude people, and hopefully someday they grow up and, join the rest of us in civilized society. And June says, not the jerk. The other guy is the jerk. Their friend is wrong because nobody knows how the other person is going to react. Yeah. A decent person would have reacted with gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of gratitude, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for getting a tattoo of my last name? This segue did not work. My sibling and I are planning on getting matching tattoos that represent our last name. For the sake of the story, we'll say that it's manzana, which means apple in Spanish. My siblings and I would all get the tattoo of an apple. We're not Hispanic or Latino. Our last name just happens to be a Spanish word. I was talking about getting this tattoo to a friend of mine, and she said that it would be offensive because I'm not Hispanic. She said that it would also give the impression that I'm Hispanic to other people when I'm not. But that's literally what my last name means. Would I be the jerk if I got this tattoo? Edit. She said that people would think that I'm Hispanic because if I explain that tattoo as it's my last name, it means apple in Spanish. They would take it to mean that I was Hispanic in some way. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. It's your last name, and that's what your name means. Like, it's such a strange take. And if people make assumptions about your ethnicity based on your name, like, have they never heard of the tradition of people changing their names?
Yeah, I mean, that's really, yeah, it's mind-boggling, right? Like, OP, either married, well, no, it doesn't even sound like they married into this, right? It sounds like their siblings all have this last name. They have this last name. There's somebody in their family tree at some point in time that came from a lineage of either, Spanish or Hispanic, right? And that's really what this boils down to. It's their last name. People just need to mind their own business, right?
Yeah. And like, again, if someone makes an assumption about OP's ethnicity based on the tattoo, like they could make the same assumption based on the name itself. Like people will jump to conclusions, but
well, that's what I'm wondering, right? Like it doesn't change what the meaning of the last name is, right? They just have a tattoo within the meaning of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
but since OP knows the word, clearly no one who's not Hispanic could know Spanish.
Yeah, I mean, I also think it's so yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly it. It's like the Spanish language is reserved for Spaniards and Hispanic people only. No one else is allowed to speak the second most common language in the world or something like that. It's like the second or third most common language, right? I think like Mandarin Chinese is like first, Spanish is like second, English is like third or something like that. Don't quote me on these numbers because they're wrong. I guarantee they're wrong.
Well, this reminds me. So circling back earlier to our facts conversation. This is the joke that we do have, as we jokingly refer to Brian as Brian GPT, because he has lots of knowledge and facts about all kinds of areas, but when he is wrong, he is confidently wrong.
Oh, I am very confidently wrong. I am the embodiment of ChatGPT. I'll make assertions here all day long. I'll lie to you sweetly. June says, not the jerk. In his last name, it's his last name. I'm Hispanic and I'm not offended. You should be, June. People are just weird in general. And Sweet Memory says, just chill. I agree. Just chill. Oh, the world would be a lot better for a lot of people if more people just chilled out. Speaking of just chilling out, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for still wanting to take a 3-month leave abroad to test a lifelong dream, even though my girlfriend says that she'll leave me if I go? So I'm a 27-year-old male, and my girlfriend is a 26-year-old female, and we've been together for a while. She's a good woman, and I care about her a lot. For many years, long before I met her, I've dreamed of living abroad and testing the digital nomad lifestyle. I currently have a stable full-time job in Canada, plus a freelance side business. I applied for a 3-month leave mid-January to mid-April 2027 to use Medellin as a base of travel in South America. Well, the goal is to test whether this lifestyle is something I want long-term, or if I would rather stay in a stable path, job plus eventually buying a duplex with my brother and aiming for early retirement around 55. I'm not locked into a long-term lease, so I can leave. She can't easily join me because of money and other responsibilities, and she's stuck in her own lease. She has given me a clear ultimatum. If I go on this 3-month leave, she will break up with me. She doesn't want to be left alone and doesn't fully trust me yet because of some bad things that I've done in the past. I've completely stopped and I've been working to rebuild her trust. I feel like a jerk for even considering it. This is a dream that I've had for years, and the leave is only temporary to test my future, not me abandoning the relationship forever. At the same time, I don't want to lose a good partner over this, so am I the jerk if I still want to go through with the leave knowing that she'll leave me? All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, if this is what OP really wants to do, they can do this. But if they are expecting their partner to stick with them during this time, then that would push them into jerk territory. Like, it's fine if you two want different things in life and go your separate ways. No one is inherently the jerk there. But it sounds like there's part of OP that's still expecting her to be there for him when he comes back, and that is too much to ask. She has made her priorities clear, that this relationship will not work for her if you leave, especially because it sounds like OP's probably cheated on her in the past and has at least broken her trust in some way.
Yeah.
And she has reason to fear that will happen again. And you can't just undo that. Be like, well, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, first of all, how much time has elapsed? This doesn't sound like it's a super long relationship. And it's so, there's nothing wrong with finding out you two aren't aligned and you want different things. You can leave, but expect that the relationship will be gone, and do not pressure her to stay in it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's nobody in the wrong here. They've kind of reached an impasse. If OP can choose the relationship, or they can choose travel, and that's really what it boils down to. If they're having trust issues, then it might even be best for the relationship to end now, because it can be really hard to rebuild trust issues. And OP, if they feel like they would be resentful of their partner if they couldn't try this, that wouldn't be a healthy place to be either, right? So there just may be a overall incompatibility here. OP wants to travel and they want to work abroad. The girlfriend does not want OP to travel or work abroad for one reason or another. And, I think that's really what it boils down to. That's an impasse, right? They can either choose to stay with their girlfriend, or they can choose to go and travel, but they can't have both.
Yeah.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Which is such a weird phrase, because like if it's your birthday, you should be able to have your cake and eat it too.
I don't
or if
even
you
know
made the cake, then you should be able to have it and eat it too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the expression is like, if you have your cake, right, then you have it. But you can only have it up to the point where you've eaten it.
Oh, that makes sense. As the classic food hoarder, now that all makes sense in my mind. Of course you could eat your birthday cake.
Yes, but you can't hold it and you can't eat it at the same time. If it's gone, it's gone. June says, not the jerk. If that's something that you want to do, but she can make her decisions for herself if she doesn't want to wait around for him. Agreed. Speaking of disasters of relationships, and maybe relationships you want to get out of, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for getting mad at my fiancé for not holding the ladder when I asked her to do that? And, this would have been a great segue, Sweet Memories. A good partner should support the other's dream. Speaking of supporting other people's dreams and supporting your partner, we have a tall ceiling in our kitchen. 2 lights have burned out. I went outside to get the ladder and I set it up on the top of the counter, the center island in the kitchen, so that I can get up and reach said lights. I asked my fiance to firmly hold the ladder, as it's probably going to slide on the granite countertop. Granted, this isn't the best or safest method. It is what we have, and not the first time. I've climbed the ladder and got the bulb out, and I started to climb down, and she let go of the ladder. I have no idea why she would, allowing it to slide, and I started to fall. I caught myself, but I had to jump, and I hit my foot on the ladder steps on the way down, causing it to be sliced open. Well, when I landed and saw the blood coming out of my foot, no shoes allowed in the house per fiance, and in pain I said, why couldn't you just hold the ladder? She then became upset with me and said that there was no bad intention and that I shouldn't be mad. She did help me clean the cut on the bottom of my foot, borderline needing stitches, but that's not the point. She had an attitude with me for getting mad at her. Am I supposed to be fine that she is not taking any accountability for holding the ladder because there was no bad intentions? Edit, sometimes I call my fiance my wife, so that. I use fiance and wife in my story, and this was throwing a lot of people off. All right, folks, what do you think?
OP, does your wife or fiance have a life insurance policy out on you? I would check and make sure that's not the case. This seems like a very weird reaction. If I was supposed to be holding a ladder for Brian and get distracted, sometimes people get distracted and they drop things. I would have felt immediately so bad and been horrified by my mistake. But the fact that she's like, why are you mad at me? It's like, how uncaring can you be? Like, this was dangerous, very dangerous. And, if you're going to undertake something like that and you say you're going to do it, you need to stay with your commitment.
Yeah, I mean, they need a new ladder buddy. I wouldn't trust her to hold the ladder at this point in time.
Like I said, life insurance policy, see if she's got one on you.
I think that OP and their fiance need a better method of changing the light bulbs here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that method is, but putting your ladder on a granite countertop is a recipe for disaster, and OP is lucky that they haven't killed themselves sooner, right? Take this as luck, that as a sign that you need to get a larger ladder, one that you can fold out and that reaches the ceiling, and still have her hold it, because you should always have somebody holding a ladder for you. But at least if it's not on top of a granite countertop and she doesn't mind it, you're not going to hopefully fall to your doom.
Well, yeah, but just anytime you need to get up there, just call your friend over or your mom or someone. Have someone else there. Like.
Don't put it on a granite countertop. Period, though.
Well, no granite countertops, but also no having her holding the ladder ever again. I don't trust her.
Or even put like those. Not that I should be giving this person any more ideas on how to ruin their life, but you can always get that rubberized material, that non-slip grippy material, and put it on the countertops and put the ladder on top of that. At least that's better than having the wife let go of the ladder in the middle of the granite countertops, right?
I mean, yeah, that is better, but it's not a good solution. But also, I would be very concerned by her reaction here. This lack of concern is concerning.
Yeah. And June says, not the jerk. That's very dangerous. He needs an extension ladder. Even then, he needs someone to spot him. Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly what we've said here, June. I mean, that's right on.
Mm-hmm.
Totally radical.
We're all on the same page.
All on the same page. We don't have a whole lot of time. I'm not going to read the chinchilla ones. We'll read this one. And then let's see. Oh, no, okay. I'm going to read this one first, then we're going to do a tea time, and then we're going to read one last story. So we're going to read this one first, the Will I Be the Jerk If I Gave My Kid's Friend Parents, blah, blah, blah. You can read the title. I can't. I'll read it to you in a second. And then this, today I messed up by giving my neighbor a cat feeder that still had my voice in it.
Oh, yeah.
So that one is going to be a really fun one to end on, so stick around till after tea time and we'll read that one. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Marcia is here. Welcome, Marcia. Ladder, what a horrible girlfriend. She has no concern for him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's got a life insurance policy out on him or something. I don't know if you were there for that part of the conversation, but, like, definitely check and see if she's taken out a surprise life insurance policy.
Yes. Speaking of life insurance policy, our next letter is titled, Will I Be a Jerk If I Gave My Kid's Friend's Parent Money to Buy My Kid a Gift? And there has no life insurance policy in this story at all. Throwaway account. My kid is turning 12 and wants to invite 3 friends and their families to her birthday party at a fun location that we are paying for. One friend, Sammy, is currently experiencing financial hardship as the dad, who was their sole income provider, lost his job a few months ago. We do know for a fact that they are struggling financially. Will I be the jerk if I discreetly gave the mom a gift card to a local store so they could bring a gift? Either they can gift my daughter the gift card, or they can pick something out. We don't care about the gift. My kid has plenty of stuff, and she wouldn't care in the slightest about not getting something from Sammy. We just don't want Sammy to feel left out or to cause their family any stress. We love them and just want them to be able to join us for the party. I thought about doing a no gifts thing, but I am certain that the other 2 families would bring gifts anyways, and it would still leave Sammy feeling left out, being the only one out of 3 who didn't bring a gift. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I think the better option, like, I think OP is coming from a great place and is well intentioned, but that can be a very touchy thing. And so I think the better option is to do the no gifts thing. And if the other families bring gifts, just thank them and put them aside. Don't open them during the party.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, no one has to feel like left out or excluded.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is challenging. It's always hard when you're trying to accommodate somebody's financial situation.
Especially because, like, people have such different ideas. Like, my mom, we're like in this family shoes, my mom would have jumped at it and been like, yeah, give me a gift card to buy this kid a birthday present. But my dad would have been like, heck no, and would have, like, scrounged up whatever money he had to come up with it for a gift. Like, people are different types of people, and like, so knowing their personalities, maybe Opie can judge whether the family would be insulted by this sort of a proposition. Like, it's hard to judge me as an outsider how they would feel about it, but it is such a touchy subject that, if you're not sure how they would feel, it's probably best not to.
Yeah, I think there are ways around this situation, and I think maybe the one biggest way around the situation is not to have a public gift opening ceremony here. If the daughter already has a lot of presents, then maybe the fun outing is enough. And if people want to bring gifts or something like that, they say, well, we'll be opening them up at some other point in time. It's difficult, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there is a right answer here.
Well,
one size fits all.
there
Do
isn't.
this and you'll be fine and not offend anyone.
Well, that's
right?
the thing, is it all depends on the people involved and how they feel, and sometimes there is no good option.
Mm-hmm. And June says, not the jerk. I understand that they don't want to feel left out. Good idea, Amber, on not opening the gift during the party. And Sweet Memory says, not the jerk, but it is a difficult situation. And Marcia says, nice, a gift, nice, I apparently can no longer read. Gift, nice offer. He could talk to them and see if they would accept that. What a good idea. And that might be exactly it. It's like, this might be a situation where they would be open to having a gift card or something like that. Or they could just anonymously give a gift card, right? Oh, and Amber is reaching for the joke book. So you all know what that means. It is tea time.
Yeah, I just realized I did not have the joke book on hand, and I was like, we're going to need that very soon.
Grab your beverages of choice. I'm going to end the poll here and see what everyone likes for summer weather. I have some tea right here. I'll let you guess what it is, but you probably already know what it is. It's probably pretty obvious by now what tea I'm having.
Oh my goodness. Okay, why do ducks have feathers?
Why do ducks have feathers? Well, how else are they supposed to write their manuscripts?
Good one. To cover their butt quacks.
No.
I know. Isn't it terrible?
It is. It's a terrible joke. What? It doesn't even make any sense. Yeah, June, you are correct. I have throat coat tea. Everyone's favorite summer weather is sunny. Not everyone. Cloudy, and then other. No one likes rainy summer days.
I mean, I put other because it really depends on the day and where I'm going.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to be, I love sunny days when they're not too hot. And if it's like, gonna be 100 degrees, it's a no for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind rainy weather if I have nowhere to go, but if I've got places to go, I don't want it raining on me.
Yeah.
Hard to go wrong with a good cloudy day as long as it's temperate and not downpouring on my walk.
Yeah. Oh, and June, I'm not sick. I think I'm just having like allergies and like post-nasal drip and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I'm in like meetings all day long now where I'm talking a lot. And it apparently I've talked myself out. I really strained my voice one weekend, and then I've had a really hard time recovering from that since then. So I've just been taking it a little easier and just trying to keep my voice rested instead of like overexerting it or straining it and whatnot. So I'm not sick or anything, but my voice is tired. It is tired now from reading for an hour. I'm glad you enjoyed the joke, June. Speaking of funny jokes, Maybe this isn't a funny joke. Today I messed up by giving my neighbor a cat feeder that still had my voice in it. So my cat stopped using his automatic feeder after I changed his food. So I cleaned it out and shoved it in the kitchen cabinet. It sat there forgotten for maybe 6 months before a woman in my building mentioned that she had just adopted a cat, and I offered it to her. Well, I completely had forgotten that I had recorded a custom message on it. Every morning at 6, it plays me saying, "Wake up, you..." Every morning at 6 o'clock, it plays me saying, "Wake up, you unemployed little goblin. Your government assistance has arrived." Apparently, the first time it happened, she thought somebody was speaking through her baby monitor. The second morning, she unplugged the monitor and still heard it. So she started checking every room because she thought somebody had gotten inside her apartment. Well, she finally figured out it was the feeder after standing next to it exactly at 6 in the morning. She knocked on my door, holding it, and asked why my voice was insulting her cat before sunrise. I deleted the recording, but now we have to see each other in the elevator, knowing that she spent mornings searching her apartment for me. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, that's a good story. It's funny.
It is. I mean, I don't know that you can say much more than that. If Opie had done it on purpose to be insulting or mean to their neighbor or to, like, terrify their neighbor, then that would be one thing. But this was just like a case of, oh, I forgot that I did this thing, right? And the neighbor is not wrong for being upset, but I mean, I think, like, most of the time, I would think most people would just be grateful and then also happy that there wasn't, like, a, stalker or something like that in their home, right? But I can understand their distress at first, but I think this is something that hopefully with time they can laugh about, right?
Yeah.
And June says, "Haha, that's hilarious. It would have scared the crap out of me." Yes, I can see that as well.
Yeah.
I would probably be pretty disturbed by something like that as well. And speaking of being disturbed, that's all the time we have for today, folks. Thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciated seeing you all here. Thank you, June. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, Sweet Memories. And thank you to everybody else who hasn't chimed in or spoken up. We appreciate having you on the live stream with us today. And wish that I could go for longer with these live streams, but unfortunately an hour is pretty much my limit here. The next live stream is not August 28th.
You're not time traveling.
We will not be time traveling this month, but next month maybe. The next live stream will be September 25th. I hope you have a wonderful evening as well, June. And I hope you have a good weekend, Marcia. Thanks to everybody again.
Yes, everyone have a great night and a great weekend.
I will probably sit here for a few more minutes and juggle or make funny jokes or faces or something like that while everybody files away.
Yeah, I'm going to go get my popcorn so I can read my campfire stories.
Ooh, Amber's going to read some campfire stories. We're hosting a party tomorrow, so we are having some family over.
Weather permitting, it did not rain today like it was supposed to.
Yeah, weather permitting. Maybe it will rain tomorrow and rain us out of our event, but hopefully not. But again, thank you all so much for joining us, and we will see you later.
Bye.